you sure we should be in here?
Psycho learns to ignore distractions, focus on the goal. In theory, you could bring a brass band through here and they never know.
What are they doing?
Scan and countering exercises. One tries to scan the other, who blocks. He has to hold off his opponent for no less than 5 minutes. Then they switch places. Over time, we raise the minimum. 10 minutes, 15. A field agent has to be able to hold his own for at least an hour.
Why an hour?
Because unless you've gone through training sessions like this, there isn't a human telepath alive who can sustain a deep scan for more than 40, 45 minutes tops. They burst arteries, have strokes, black out.
Would they mind if we watched?
No, not at all. Go ahead.
That's terrible. How can they stand it?
By constant exposure and repetition. You get used to it.
Wavefront intensity has increased.
Increase shield to 75%.
Aye, sir.
Damage, Mr. Worf?
Minimal, sir. Shields are holding. Ensign full about. Go to warp 2.
The gravitational distortion is too high. We can't maintain a warp field.
Full shields. Aye.
Captain, impulse power has been disrupted. The helm won't respond.
We couldn't get out either.
Timothy, perhaps you and I should go below and get out of everyone's way.
No.
Riker to LaForge. Can you give me more power to the shields? Stand by.
That's what they kept saying. More shields. More shields.
Timothy, accompany me, please. I want you to recall everything you heard people say aboard the Vico before it was destroyed.
I don't know, just that. Just more shields.
Captain, I've transferred fusion reactors 4 through 9 into the shield array. That should double the shield strength.
Wavefront intensity has increased by an order of magnitude. Impact in 3, 2, 1. Wavefront intensity is continuing to increase. Structural overpressure now exceeding 180%. LaForge?
I don't understand. That should have been enough. We could run the shield grid directly off the warp drive.
Go ahead, Commander. Initiating warp transfer pathways now.
Diverting warp power to the shields.
Warp power to the shields. They said that too, Data. I'm positive.
Wavefront intensity has increased by a factor of 10. Contact in 31 seconds. Without additional power to the shields, the outer hull will not hold.
LaForge? Warp transfer to the shields complete. That's as strong as they're gonna get.
Impact in 15 seconds.
Sir, drop the shields. That's suicide Data. Captain, drop the shields.
Make it so. Aye.
Our own shields caused the increases in the wavefront, sir. We have been experiencing a harmonic amplification effect.
The more energy we dumped into the shield, the worse the impact.
Precisely. That is also what destroyed the Vico. When Timothy remembered similar procedures on his ship, I initiated an analysis of shield output to wavefront amplification and discovered a correlation.
If we had transferred all that warp power to the shields, it would have torn the ship apart.
Status, Ensign?
Navigation is coming back online.
Full about. 1/4 impulse.
Take us out of here.
It is not me you must answer to.
Lady Galadriel.
Mithrandir. Gwen Winnie Nunudui.
Antiphonus. Maloecia e Kirilorium. I'd no idea Lord Elrond had sent for you.
He didn't. I did.
Saruman.
You've been busy of late, my friend. Tell me, Gandalf, did you think these plans and schemes of yours would go unnoticed?
Unnoticed? No, I'm simply doing what I feel to be right.
The dragon has long been on your mind.
It is true, my lady. Smaug owes allegiance to no one. But if he should side with the enemy, a dragon could be used to terrible effect.
What enemy? Gandalf, the enemy is defeated. Sauron is vanquished. He can never regain his full strength.
Gandalf, for 400 years we have lived in peace, a hard-won, watchful peace.
Are we? Are we at peace? Trolls have come down from the mountains. They are raiding villages, destroying farms. Orcs have attacked us on the road.
Hardly a prelude to war.
Always you must meddle. looking for trouble where none exists.
Let him speak.
There is something at work beyond the evil of Smaug. Something far more powerful. We can remain blind to it, but it will not be ignoring us. That I can promise you. A sickness lies over the Greenwood. The woodsmen who live there now call it Mirkwood, and they say...
Well, don't stop now. Tell us what the woodsmen say.
They speak of a necromancer living in Dol Guldur, a sorcerer who can summon the dead.
That's absurd. No such power exists in this world. This necromancer is nothing more than a mortal man. A conjurer dabbling in black magic.
And so I thought too. But Radagast has seen...
Radagast? Do not speak to me of Radagast the Brown. He's a foolish fellow.
Well, he's odd, I grant you. He lives a solitary life.
It's not that. It's his excessive consumption of mushrooms. They've addled his brain and yellowed his teeth. I warned him. It is unbefitting one of the Easterly wandering the woods.
You carry something. It came to you from Radagast. He found it in Dol Guldur.
Yes.
Show me.
What is that?
A relic of Mordor. Made for the Witch King of Angmar, and buried with him. When Angmar fell, the men of the North took his body and all that he possessed and sealed it within the high fells of Rudal. Deep within the rock, they buried him. In a tomb so dark, it would never come to light.
This is not possible. A powerful spell lies upon those tombs. They cannot be opened.
What proof do we have this weapon came from Angmar's grave?
I have none.
Because there is none. Let us examine what we know.
This used to be a colony that was supporting the Vorlons. Before that cloud got there, whatever it is, there were 2 million sentients living on that planet. They're all dead now. You know, I used to think that the Vorlon planet killers were scary, but now, I don't even know what I'm looking at. We couldn't get a reading on it.
Giants in the playground.
All that car exhaust and pollution from power plants and factories, all that smoke, soot and ash from cooking food and burning crops, it all has to go somewhere. And that somewhere is here. From the ground looking up, it's the heavy blanket of smog which seems to be an almost permanent fixture of many Asian cities. From satellite photos looking down, it can be seen stretching across India, China and beyond. Scientists call it an atmospheric brown cloud, a toxic cocktail 2 miles deep, covering tens of millions of square miles from the Arabian Peninsula to the Western Pacific and growing.
It's not so very much, after all. The question of this dwarvish company, however, troubles me deeply. I'm not convinced, Gandalf. I do not feel I can condone such a quest. If they'd come to me, I might have spared them this disappointment. I do not pretend to understand your reason for raising